Special event alert.
I'm late because I just got back from harvesting ballots, which is excuse number 161 for being late for changeover, your weekly space news and variety show. I'm your host, Marty Smith, and I'm joined by Mr. History, Eric Perrott.
I am back. I have a question. What exactly does harvesting ballots mean?
Well, if you were a Democrat, I could tell you, but since you're not, Eric gets C.
Okay. Just like harvesting cotton.
Well, we'll talk about it outside of the introduction, and it'll make your head spin. So.
Okay, cool.
We're here to bring you the latest headlines and updates pertinent to all Guardians and to the other branches as well. So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh, because
from the Rockies to the Space Coast, Late for Changeover is here with the guys to shake the skies.
Shaking the skies, man. That's us. That's awesome.
So yeah, I was kind of holding out hope for what's his name, the guy out running for mayor out there in LA, Pratt, right? And I was like, whoa, look at this. He might actually, because I was thinking, hey, if a guy just talks common sense, he doesn't have to be a hardcore Republican. People will vote him in because they're tired of all these craziness, right? And the whole, I really yesterday I was like, oh, he's out. He didn't make second place, and I was
the
like,
bottom fell out, man.
And I watched a podcast. I think it was Tim Pool on his Timcast who explained it, that it's legal to go out and harvest ballots. So they'll go out. It's legal in California to do that. So they can go out to people and go, hey, have you voted? And they're like, no, do you want to vote for the Democrat or whoever it is? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they're like, hey, help me fill it. I'll help you fill this out and I'll take it in for you. Right. And in California law, you don't have to have anything but like a gym membership card will help you. And that's valid ID.
Yeah. There's no citizen verification. There's none of that.
No, they just, and they carry all those back and they're like, dump them all in. And they're like, hey, look, 43,000 votes with no votes for the other guy. How did that happen? So it's legalized cheating because it's all in the code. They're not breaking the law. They're allowed to do it.
Is California the only state that does it?
No, there's many states that allow it. Right. So that's what, but that's why when they don't close the ballot, or they don't close, hey, you got to have it there on the day of.
Sure. And
they've extended it out for all these stupid reasons, right? They've slowly scratched at it, and they're like, oh, mail-in votes, that's just supposed to be for the military. And they're like, well, yeah, but there's other people besides the military. And so they take that little crack in the door and they push it open. And they're like, oh, every voter in California gets a mail-in ballot now. And they have all the time in the world to return it, as long as they say it's postmarked. And the postmark doesn't have to be official postmark from the post office box. I guess they can write it on there and go, hey, I mailed this on the 2nd, and they're like, okay, good enough for us.
Harvesting ballots. That's interesting. I bet they get beat up when they come to most people about, what are you talking about? I'm not.
There is, you can find the instructions online on how they do it. It tells you what to do. And they're like, hey, have you voted? And it says, if they support the other candidate, just say, okay, thank you, have a good day, and then move on. It tells them to do that. Right? And also the stuff that's not listed that I heard about, which I totally believe, is that they pay these people to go out and harvest these ballots. So they're going to any warm body that they can. They had somebody sign their ballot with a smiley face, and that was valid, right?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, and all those late ballots ballots that came in. And it was supposed to be a ballot. It wasn't just the mayor race. There was all this other stuff like a typical ballot, right? All this other seats to vote for, measures to vote for. None of it's filled out. It just says, oh, I want this Democrat. And it came back with that Nithya Raman's name on it. That was it. Nothing, no other votes for it. And I was like,
how is that possible?
Whoa. Because it's in their law. They didn't
crazy.
break the law. They allow it. And they did that on purpose to do
get
just
rid of
this.
Pratt.
Yeah. Well, no. Newsom did it a year or two ago on purpose. So, and that's why he stood up and said the other day, he's like, don't worry, we got things in place. You know? Like,
We're not worried about Pratt.
No shit, you do, right? So, yeah, that's what harvesting ballots is.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I've been educated again. Seems our show educates me frequently.
Well, you taught us Douglas MacArthur was in Philippines.
Oh, but at the wrong fucking time. Hello.
Now, was the wrong MacArthur or was the wrong time? Take your
Wrong
pick.
time, wrong MacArthur. Dropping the ball.
Jake, if you're listening, greetings from the States, or konnichiwa, as they would
We're
say.
missing you, big fella.
Yeah, the big giant sumo wrestler walking around out there like a, just out of place. I mean, just
And a flannel.
just bobbing a head above everybody else out there. Right?
And a flannel. Hello,
In
fellow.
a flannel, yeah.
Big ball head running around. Good Lord.
Yeah, he's going to go into a bar and they're going to have drinking contests. I'm like, we can't get this guy drunk. We all pass out before this big American. So
enjoy yourself, Jake.
Yeah, say hi to your brother first. Okay, shall we go on to the news?
Yeah, let's get on with it. Let's go.
Before we go to the news, I
Sir?
just wanted to ask a favor of you. Can I borrow $135? Please.
Like,
I know, yeah, we're good friends.
Sending you a card, or you?
No, just say, I want to use $135 for this next story from space.com.
You are such a good friend of mine that I would give you $135.50.
I don't need the 50 cents because I'll give you
it's interesting.
I'll give you 10 times back that amount. So SpaceX is about to become the 7th most valuable American company. The 7th most valuable American company. SpaceX's initial public offering will launch the company into rarefied financial air. The company revealed this week that it plans to sell shares at $135 a piece during the initial public offering, which will occur Friday, June 12th, when SpaceX begins trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol SpaceX, SPCX. That share price will give the company a valuation of $1.77 trillion, according to CNBC.
Good Lord.
Just 6 American companies are worth more: NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and semiconductor manufacturer Broadcom.
Wow. 6 only, man,
Yeah.
$1 trillion. Come on.
SpaceX aims to sell 555.6 million shares during the IPO, raising a total of $75 billion, CNBC reported. That would smash the IPO fundraise record of $21.8 billion, which was set back in 2014 by Chinese tech giant Alibaba.
Hold on. Yeah, Edward Jones? Yeah. The IPO is starting Monday?
No, Friday.
Correction, Friday. I want probably at least 1,000 shares. It's
Oh, wouldn't that
135.
be something?
Give me 1,000.
Yeah, wouldn't that be
Give
something?
me 1,000 shares, man.
Yeah, because when you at first I was like, oh yes, I mean, of course they're gonna garner that much. But when you start diving into the rest of this and you hear the stuff they're going into, they're not going away.
Oh,
They're
no.
definitely not going away.
No.
The cash infusion will help SpaceX reach truly unprecedented heights. Elon Musk's company already dominates the global launch market, lofting 85% of all the satellites that went up in 2025. And I was like,
80%.
wow, 85% of all that
That's
went up.
huge.
Well, most of it were theirs, right? And the article goes, most of the spacecraft were its own Starlink broadband craft. So,
Yeah.
when it goes up and launches 40, they count each one of those and they're like, oh, yeah, they're doing most of that.
They're on fire. And and of course, speaking of fire, if you blow your crap up on the pad like the Origin,
right.
Not too many successes there.
Starlink constitutes more than 75% of all active satellites in Earth orbit. So, but the company is diversifying beyond launch and telecommunications, specifically into artificial intelligence. SpaceX recently acquired XAI, the startup that Musk founded in 2023. XAI owns X, built the generative AI chatbot Grok, and operates Colossus, a supercomputer cluster in Tennessee. And SpaceX intends to take AI into the final frontier. It plans to operate 1 million off-Earth AI data centers, which the company will launch aboard its Starship mega rocket. SpaceX is dreaming even bigger than you probably think. According to paperwork that SpaceX filed ahead of its IPO, it's eyeing a, quote, total addressable market, end quote, over the long haul of $28.5 trillion.
Edward Jones, make that 2,000 shares. 2,000. Thank you. Like, come on. He's going to succeed, right? This thing is going to blow up.
That's what I mean. It's not like, hey, let's buy into this car market. Well, what have you done on the cars? Well, it's still 4 wheels and a box. So where he's going into AI, he's going into space, he's going into satellites, he's going into launch, he's going to the moon, he's going to Mars.
This guy's amazing.
And it's like, 135 to get you in. I have actually had thoughts of buying a gift for my grandson of like a few shares of stock in SpaceX right as the IPO. Let him grow up to be 20 years from now and see what it's worth.
Oh, I bet it'd be huge.
Yeah, it could be.
I bet it'd be huge.
So anyway, that's what's going on Friday. Take a
Musk
look
ain't
at that.
stupid. Where does he stand in the rankings of the richest people in the world? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Where he stands.
I don't know. If only we had the some way to look that up.
We have computers these days. Hello.
Where's Jake? Jake's pretty good at looking stuff up as we're talking. Because he always looks like this. And I'm like, he's not paying attention. Oh, he's looking something up.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's funny whenever they, the real jealous people when they knock on Musk and they're like, he didn't create any of that stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. I mean, Gates did, but Gates didn't either. He stole it from what was that guy? Or maybe it was, I don't know, all those guys, right? Gates didn't write Windows. Jobs didn't, do the Apple iOS. Musk didn't do any of that stuff, but they're all the heads of the company. The only one who really did was what's the guy's name from Facebook? Because he did create Facebook with a friend of his.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So as of June 2026, Elon Musk is ranked as the richest person in the world.
I thought it was that like Qatari guy or somebody from the Middle East.
A title he has held since May of 2024, according to Forbes.
Whoa.
His net worth is estimated at $835 to $839 billion, depending on the source and valuation method. Wow.
Yeah, so he could care what some Reddit guy goes, well, Musk never created this. It's like, okay, I don't think he cares.
So Tesla, SpaceX, XAI are his primary tied to his fortune.
Right. And then all the data centers that are coming and everything else. So that's a lot.
What do you do with that much money, man?
Well, I think once I can only imagine that once they get there, then it's just like, I'm looking for the next thing. It's not, I mean, I think you gotta stop counting your income when you like hit 1 million, right?
No,
maybe 100 million.
There you go.
I mean, there's a certain point where they're like, I don't care. I'm going to make money. I don't care. Right.
I'm not worried about it. It's never going to run out.
I mean, obviously, when you get enough money, it's going to make money for you anyway. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if he really cares. I think they're just looking to like, hey, let's go to space. Hey, let's build this, Lee. Let's build this. Let's try this.
What
let's try
idea
that.
can I come up with next? Just to keep my head on straight.
Sure. I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, there's,
What's a billionaire do when he's bored?
He becomes a trillionaire.
Good point.
I mean, these guys, I'm sure there's got to be a competition amongst them all, right? Maybe unspoken, but I'm sure they're sitting there going,
Yeah, I could tell you it showed me the list.
Whenever you're going to say on this show that, okay, this guy is the top of the some list, we're all going to go, well, who's second? Right?
Yeah.
Because it's our nature to go, well, who's the second place guy?
And third and fourth, because all of them.
I hate when you read something in the paper and they're like, this guy has the third most interceptions of all time, and they never say who's 2 and number 1. I hate it when they write articles like that. I'm like, don't make.
All right. So Forbes states Elon Musk, Larry Page of Google, but there's a substantial amount of money less than Elon Musk. So Elon is estimated $792 billion. Larry Page of Google, $297.5 billion. Then it goes to another guy in Google, 274. Jeff Bezos is fourth with Amazon at 253. And then number 5 is Oracle with $253.1 billion.
Oracle. Wow.
How can you hate those guys, right? Because most of them, it wasn't generational wealth. It wasn't given to them.
Right.
Most of those guys did it on their own.
Well, sure. It's all envy, right?
Yeah.
I have no thoughts about a rich guy. It's like, yeah, good. I mean, that you took whatever it was, whether that be money that you were inherited, whether it be an idea, whether it was hard work, whether you cornered the market, whatever, you took the opportunity that was given and you made it, and you made the most of it, right? Which is what this country is supposed to be all about. So I have no problems with that. No, none, not at all. I'm like, good on you. I just wish I would have thought of it, And there are things that I had thought of, and I see somebody successful with them. I'm like, damn it. What are they doing, man?
Do was touch it.
We thought of that. I mean, the lady or whoever who does the AI videos with the dogs talking, and I don't know if you've ever seen any of those, but they're pretty damn adorable and funny, and they're like a minute per, and she's got millions of people watching her, and I'm like, damn, it's so creative, it's so smart,
making it tons of money.
Yeah. And it's like and the one we like, I mean, there's a ton of them out there, but the one we like is a golden doodle talking, right? And it supposedly started with the person who did it the idea was, I wonder what my dog is thinking. Well, I'm going to use AI to act like my dog is talking and telling me its thoughts. And I was like, that's pretty damn smart. That's pretty.
And I had to hook up with some guy named Marty Smith who runs a podcast. Thinking
it's going to hit, baby. It's going to hit. Actually, you convinced me to start this damn thing. So. We should do more. That was your words. We should do more. Yeah, I know.
I was 4 years younger too. Let's.
I was back in my 50s.
Ain't it the truth?
Fucker.
Oh shit.
All right. I ran across this, and it is news, but it's not. We typically do that. I almost did this for Unheralded history, but I separated it out. Right.
Okay.
So obviously, everyone here has seen We Were Soldiers Once and Young. Well, the character that Greg Kinnear played, the helicopter pilot, retired Army Colonel Bruce Crandall. Well, he passed away. He passed away a couple weeks ago at 93.
I saw that.
93 years old. So
That's pretty amazing.
Retire. Well, here, before we get into it. So there, I don't know what year that was, right? That looks obviously a little older.
He does.
Because he's wearing OCPs right there.
Yep.
So but there he was in his younger days. Look at that picture, man.
That's a stud there, man.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we all love that guy's character in the movie. And
hardcore, man.
Here's kind of a write-up from that. Retired Army Colonel Bruce Perry Crandall, the legendary helicopter pilot who was awarded the U.S. military's highest decoration for valor for his bravery during the 1965 Battle of Ia, recently died at the age of 93. Crandall was awarded the Medal of Honor in February 2007. Why
it came a long time after that.
That does. I did mean to look that up. I didn't, but I meant to look that up and go, why was it so far? 65 to 2007 he gets nominated for it? I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe there was a push or something.
No, there should have been based on what we know about him.
Sure.
Yeah.
He was awarded the Medal of Honor in February 2007 for repeatedly flying his helicopter into heavy combat to evacuate wounded troops and provide the outnumbered soldiers on the ground with supplies needed to hold their own against massive North Vietnamese attacks. Crandall joined the Army National Guard when he was just 15. Commissioned as an officer in 1954. His call sign, Ancient Serpent 6, earned him the nickname Old Snake among his fellow soldiers, or what they call him, snake shit in the movie. In the book.
That's still cool.
On November 14, 65, Crandall flew soldiers into landing zone X-ray in South Vietnam's Ia Drang Valley as part of what would become the first major battle between the U.S. and North Vietnamese. After his flight of 8 medical evacuation helicopters came under intense enemy fire, the ground commander ordered the other helicopters to abort their mission. But Crandall knew that the soldiers on the ground needed more ammo, so he began operating from a base closer to the battle to bring supplies and to ferry out the wounded. While medical evacuation was not his mission, Crandall sought volunteers and headed to landing zone X-ray. Despite the relentless enemy fire raking the landing zone, he landed and ensured the severely wounded soldiers were loaded onto the aircraft. Crandall and retired Major Ed Freeman, that was too tall, I think, right? A fellow Medal of Honor recipient who volunteered to fly the medevac mission, were credited with saving the lives of about 70 wounded soldiers and delivering critically needed supplies during. How many times do you think he landed and took off? Landed and took off. Landed and took off. How many times do you think he did?
7.
That's what I thought. Maybe a dozen. 22. He flew back and forth 22 times.
You talk about someone who just said, it doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I mean,
matter.
that one scene where he's bringing fresh troops out, but it's at night, and he's just, he's been up all day, and the guys are all like amazed at how, the fighting on it. He's like, don't worry, it gets rough here, and he's all calm and cool. All those helicopter guys are so calm and cool.
Been through it all, man, through 20-something times. Good Lord.
Over the course of the day, Major Crandall had to fly 3 different helicopters. President George W. Bush said during Crandall's Medal of Honor ceremony, 2 were damaged so badly they could not stay in the air, yet he kept flying until every wounded man had been evacuated and every need of the battalion had been met. Crandall died on May 31st at his residence in Tempe, Arizona, according to the Congressional Medal of Honor Society. With his death, only 63 living Medal of Honor recipients remain.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Tip of the cap to you, Colonel Crandall.
No doubt about it. Wow. That's the kind of guy you want to come get you.
Well, sure. Because he's coming.
Yeah. We talked about, remember, we don't want a freaking drone. I want somebody.
Yeah. Good point. Don't stick me in that coffin on wheels. I want to come back with that guy. 22 times. That's insane. And he had to choose a new aircraft 3 times. It's like, this one's too beat up. Give me that one.
Have that guy come get me.
Yeah. So it does make you wonder how much of that was Hollywoodism, right? And how much of that was in the book. Because I don't remember that part in the book when the guy gets pissed at him, he pulls a gun on him and tells him, why don't you fly your ass out there with him, or whatever, however he said it. But I'm sure, because that movie was pretty faithful, so I'm sure that happened. Yeah. I mean, Moore was advising on the movie, so
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Kinnear did a pretty good job of that. So
that's usually hard to say something that Greg Kinnear did too.
What? I used to like Greg Kinnear until he did like that goofy show, Little Miss Sunshine, I think it was, or something like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I was like, I forget that.
Crazy.
Eric, for our second iteration of Timeline of War.
Yeah,
you got World War II 1943.
I am striving to touch what you did.
Wow. It's what we do. We're a team. We're a team.
I'm striving to touch.
Well, I know. You should have just used what I sent you, but instead you went off on your own.
Well, I shan't go into it. You're absolutely correct. I'll just nod in affirmation and say, yes, I should have. And
1943, Douglas MacArthur was in the Philippines.
At 1899, when he was like a cadet, 20 years old. Okay.
That's right.
As World War II raged on, Allied troops made their first landing in Europe on the island of Sicily. Russian forces turned back German invaders abound Stalingrad, and the Pacific Japanese troops came off Guadalcanal. A lot of things. So in 42, the Allies were getting pounded pretty good, losing a number of battles. In 43, the tide started turning. Okay. Pretty big stuff there, right?
Right.
I like it. So in January, 8th Air Force bombs Germany for the first time. So 8th Air Force bombers dispatched from their bases in England fly the first American bombing raid against the Germans, targeting the Wilhelmshaven port. Of 64 planes participating in the raid, 53 reached their targets.
Wow.
And blasted them to pieces. So big deal. Now, a lot of stuff was happening in Russia. I'm not supposed to talk about Russia. I'm just going to say that Stalingrad ended. We surrounded German troops, kicked their butt. Not us, but their Soviets. Right? That's big.
How is that not talking about Russia? You're talking about Russia.
I know. I like talking about Russia. I'm going to throw it out there. So, yeah.
Well, I was going to comment about them bombing Germany for the first time, because when we talked last week in 1942, when 8th Air Force just got started, they started bombing German targets, or they started bombing, was it railways in France? Right?
Yeah, that started it, right?
Yeah. So they were bombing in France, and then just a couple months later, beginning of 43, now they're bombing Germany.
Yeah. So in 42, we talked about Guadalcanal and how bad that battle was. Well, in February of 43, Japanese troops evacuated Guadalcanal, and we had finally secured the island.
That's amazing.
The American victory at Guadalcanal paved the other way for the Allied wins at the Solomon Islands next. That's big.
Yeah.
Right? So in February, the Battle of Kasserine Pass begins. On this day, General Rommel and his Africa Corps launched an offensive against the Allied defensive line in Tunisia, North Africa. The Kasserine Pass was the site of the United States' first major battle defeat.
Bad.
That's bad, Jim. Right. Bad juju. We got bad. He was dispatched to North Africa in February of 41. He's killing everybody despite his skill. Until this point, Rommel had been unable to do much more than manage his own forces' retreats. The Battle of Kasserine Pass would finally display the Desert Fox's strategic genius. So he took it to us there, man.
Yeah, he did.
You don't like that. So I said I didn't like that. Rommel was a good general. So in March, the Battle of Bismarck Sea begins. This is a big one.
Yeah.
In March 2nd, 1943, the Battle of Bismarck Sea begins with U.S. and Australian land-based planes launching an offensive against a convoy of Japanese ships in the Western Pacific. 1 day earlier, U.S. reconnaissance planes spotted 16 Japanese ships en route to Lae and Salamu in New Guinea. The Japanese were attempting to maintain control of the island and their garrisons there by sending 7,000 reinforcements. We put a stop to that.
Yeah, we
March
tore 'em up.
2nd and March 4th, a bombing campaign carried out by 137 American bombers, along with U.S. and Australian fighters, destroyed 8 Japanese troop transports and 4 Japanese destroyers. More than 3,000 Japanese troops and sailors drowned as a consequence. Big deal. That was a big one.
Yeah.
Again, 43, the tide starts to turn, right? Let's see what would be next. In May, everybody's seen the Memphis Belle. On May 17th, 1943, the crew of the Memphis Belle, one of group of American bombers based in Britain, becomes one of the first B-17 crews to complete 25 missions over Europe and return to the United States.
Pretty interesting, because it seems like that would be towards the end of the war. But that was in 43. Hell, I mean, the 8th Air Force just started half a year before that, right?
Flew their missions quick and said, I want to go home.
Yeah, I guess so. But you know how difficult it was for these guys, especially when they're flying daytime missions. So pretty amazing.
Yeah. Another day in May, FDR and Winston Churchill get together and plan the D-Day landing. And as of May 1st, 1944, that date will prove to be a premature. Of course, we all know when it occurred. So that was a big deal because Winston Churchill and FDR became pretty tight friends prior to even the start of the war, when Winston is asking for help and FDR is like, I want to help. I can't help right now. You know, and they met. He took a battleship, met FDR somewhere, and I can't remember where. And on the return, FDR gave him 2 destroyers to escort him halfway across the ocean.
Oh, well,
so
that was nice of him.
And something else I didn't know, in May of 40, it was March of 43 actually, FDR extends the line of debarkation out almost 3/4 across the Atlantic Ocean that says, if you're attacked or any ship being attacked by the Germans, you can now protect yourself. The Navy. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They extended that demarcation line?
I did.
Okay.
I didn't.
I was not aware of that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see. What else did we have?
May, right?
Yeah.
No, July.
It was May.
Yeah, that was in May, right?
Okay. So June of 43, FDR's Secretary of War stifles Truman's inquiry into suspicious defense plans. No big deal, but we were trying to do some building of weapons, and Truman had a problem with it. Anyway, moving right along. In July of 43, the Allies began their invasion of Axis-controlled Europe with landings on the island of Sicily off mainland Italy, encountering little resistance from the demoralized Sicilian troops. So the British Army, let's see, I want to talk about that one just real brief. Yeah. The British 8th Army under Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery came ashore on the southeast of the island, while the U.S. 7th Army under General Patton landed on Sicily's south coast. Within 3 days, 150,000 Allied troops were ashore. So, Italian leader Mussolini envisioned building fascist Italy into a new Roman Empire. Not so much. A string of military defeats in World War II effectively made his regime a puppet and hit stronger Axis partner Germany. So he was
not too good.
Yeah. But that's where we hit Italy. American bombs in July.
No, wait a minute. That's where we hit Sicily. Italy was later, right?
Well, Sicily was part of Italy, right?
Yeah, but it's the island south of Sicily, south of Italy. So that was a specific campaign, the Sicily campaign, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then we had to jump off into Italy.
Well, which is in July of 43 as well. The
Right.
United States bombs railway yards in Rome, an attempt to break the will of the Italian people, as Hitler lectures their leader, Mussolini, on how to prosecute the war further. So there you go. I like that one too. Once we started hitting Italy, things start happening pretty quick.
Right.
Operation Gomorrah at the end of July starts happening. July 24th, British bombers raid Hamburg, Germany by night in Operation Gomorrah, while Americans bomb it by day in its own Blitz week.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's what happens when good stuff, you hook up with good parts of
Yeah, and that's
allies.
Americans going, we'll do it during the day. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And everybody's
Moving
like,
into
what?
August of 43, Operation Tidal Wave occurs. U.S. forces attempt risky air raid on Axis oil refineries.
God dang.
They flew 177 B-24 bombers. They take off from an Allied base in Libya, bound for the oil-producing city in Polestia, Romania,
Wow.
nicknamed Hitler's gas station. I like that. Daring raid known as Operation Tidal Wave. I'm going to give you a little more on that. Okay, so 167 of the original 177 bombers made it to the target, whose oil fields and refineries provided the Germans with over 8.5 million tons of oil per year. Whereas most Allied bombing in World War II was carried out from a high altitude, the bombers that raided Polesti flew exceptionally low in order to evade the Germans' radar. The bombers lost the element of surprise, however, when one group veered off on the wrong direction, forcing the others to break radio silence in order to direct them back on course. The unplanned adjustment also led to the bombers approaching from the south, where the Nazis had concentrated their anti-aircraft batteries.
Of course.
Not good. But the ensuing attack was dramatic, chaotic, and costly. The Allies suffered heavy casualties, and smoke from the explosion caused by the first wave of bombers made visibly. Wasn't there a movie made of this too? I think
I
there was.
don't know. It sounds familiar, but
Yeah.
I have to go look that up.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
familiar.
Lieutenant Colonel Addison Baker and Major John Jerstad were awarded the Medal of Honor for their unsuccessful attempt to fly higher and allow the crew to bail out. Of the
You know where I
madness.
think this was in? This was in that Masters of the Air, I believe. There was an episode on it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I remember where they were flying. They weren't flying out of Britain. They were coming from the up south, and now that
In
makes
Libya,
sense.
right? Yeah, they flew out of
Yeah,
Libya.
right. I think there was an episode on that, so that's where I think we both saw it.
Yep. Another big thing that occurred in August, and most people will know about this, the sinking of PT-109. Lieutenant Kennedy is instrumental in saving his crew. In the early hours of August 2nd, a Japanese destroyer rams an American PT patrol torpedo boat, number 109, slicing it in two. The destruction is so massive, other American PT boats in the area assume the crew is dead, and they are marooned on an island. Eventually, as we all know, rescued. Japanese aircraft had been on a PT boat hunt in the Solomon Islands, bombing the PT base at Rendova Island. It was essential to the Japanese that several of the destroyers make it to the southern tip of Cambagra Island. The PT boats were instrumental in stopping those runs. Let's see. Leaving 11 crewmen on PT-109 floundering in the Pacific, eventually marooning themselves. I was going to tell you the island. There it is, Nauru Island.
Yeah.
But was in fact Cross Island.
Oh.
Yeah. They thought it was Nauru. It was Cross. All right. And then I like this one. August. This was a big one. General Patton of the 7th Army arrives in Messina several hours before British Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery and his 8th Army, winning an unofficial race to Messina.
I never knew watching that movie, that portion of the movie where he's there when Montgomery shows up.
Yeah.
I thought it was just all Hollywood, right? I didn't know that actually is what happened. So that's amazing.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Patton, I think, could have done so much more if they'd have let the leash off,
Well, sure. But, that's hard to say, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, I've read some on Eisenhower and what, even though he wasn't a combat guy, the forces that he had to all keep together, right? He had to not insult them. He had to make sure that they were involved, make sure that they were the Russians. He had to balance all of that, which he did,
Just not very good.
Well, I mean, but he kept it all together. We won the war. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, having to deal with guys like Patton or, anybody else who, and the Soviets, the Soviets at the time.
Yeah.
And then answer back home and have to deal with the British. And it's just like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Patton said, what? Like, God damn it.
Kicking,
God.
in shock soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of silly. I've read a lot about Patton too. I mean, it's silly to get rid of the general because of that, but at the same time, it's silly for him to think to do that. It's just like, come on, dude.
Yeah, you got to have a
above
better,
that, right?
Better brain.
But,
yeah.
So.
Well, moving through the year in September, September 8th, 1943, General Dwight Eisenhower publicly announces the surrender of Italy to the Allies.
Well, but a week before that, they invaded Italy, right? On the 3rd.
Yeah. So it only took, 5 days?
A week. Yeah.
Germany reacted with Operation Axis, the Allies with Operation Avalanche, which is just an execution of taking the peninsula. And I love this because at the same time, next month, October, Italy declared war on Germany with us. Hey,
yeah, that's crazy. It's like we invade the French-held North Africa, and then they turn around. They're like, "Oh, we're with you guys now." Same thing with Italy, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're with you now." So
that, sir, is all I have. I'm sure I'm missing a number of strategic, massive battles that we could go into, which occurred each month, but tried to highlight some of the high points.
Yeah, and some of the other ones, they talk about the Schweinfurt raid. I have to look that up, what the Schweinfurt raid was. But that was in October, and then in November, Central Pacific Campaign begins. So I have to look that up. That one too. So
I failed to do my due diligence.
But that's a lot for second year in the war, right? And that's just the major broad brush stuff, right?
Well, and like I said before, I think 43 really, really started the tide turning in our favor. We started.
If you listen to, I don't know if you ever listened to that show I sent you with Victor Davis Hanson. Did you ever really follow those through there? Because he has one, because he's a historian and he talks a lot about, he talks a lot about a lot of things, but most of World War II. But he had a supposition that Germany was able to make the gains that they did mostly by surprise attack and by, they were technologically superior to anything in Europe at that time. But most of their gains were like, Poland's like, they're not going to attack us. What are you attacking us for? And so they're all unready. The preparations for Europe between World War I and World War II were piss poor. And then they rolled over France, and they rolled over all these countries in their blitzkrieg because nobody thought they were going to attack.
Well, and nobody thought they were going to be able to go through the Maginot Line, and they didn't. They just ran around over to the Belgian side.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they just went right around it because, the speed of their warfare and their maneuverability of their tanks. Yeah. But Victor Davis Hanson said when they finally started facing tough resistance, like early in that year, they thought they could do what they wanted. They rolled into Russia. They lost an entire army group at Stalingrad. Right? Yep. Now the Russians paid the price for that, but that's where they really got stopped. And then going up against us, outside of Kasserine Pass, right? But we just kept pushed them out of Africa, pushed them out back. Pushed the Italians out of Sicily, and then out of Italy.
Yep.
And so as they're facing real tough competition with a
more direct action versus indirect action,
with an enemy that's prepared to fight, even though it's technologically still inferior a little bit, but they're prepared to fight. They're finding that maybe this wasn't as easy as we thought to take over the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and it's funny again. We've talked about many times. I still think there was a a golden reckoning for us, who said, no, we're not going to lose to these evil people, even though you have a M4 Sherman tank going up against a Panzer. So,
well, we had 100 Sherman tanks going up against the Panzer, and
Right.
that was the supply piece of it, which is really a miracle when you look at what they did. And in that Duke paper, you see on the home front, right, in 1943, they have rationing books were distributed in February of 43. The second war loan, I'm not sure what that means, but I think that's the bonds that they're doing, right? So the second war loan in April, then in September was the third war loan. So, and then we took 3 more loans the next year. So, yes, we were rallying everything, but the whole country was sacrificing and rationing and doing without.
Yeah.
And nobody could match it. Yeah, nobody could match that. So pretty
woke that sleeping giant in the Atlantic side too, baby.
Well, yeah. Who said that famously? I can't remember who said that famously.
The admiral that attacked Pearl Harbor.
Yamamoto
said it.
Because he didn't want to, I think, right? Something like that.
Well, he was afraid of what what the powers that the U.S. could bring to bear,
right.
And he was right.
Manufacturing piece.
Yeah, you're going to bring in so much ability.
All right, good job, Eric.
Yeah,
thanks, bringing us through 1943. Next week we'll do 1944, and we'll just walk down the major battles of 1944. So
sounds good.
All right, unheralded history. I think maybe we did this one. I don't remember it. I don't remember doing it, but we're going to do it again. So for unheralded history, let me get on my script here. I chose Operation Babylift in April 1975. All right, this comes from wearethemighty.com. So 2 years after the United States military pulled out of Vietnam in 1973, which I thought we pulled out in 1975. So maybe it just took us till 1975 to pull everything out. But President Ford threw a supposed lifeline to children in Southeast Asia that the war left without parents. So on April 3rd, 1975, he authorized Operation Babylift, a bold endeavor that resulted in the evacuation of roughly 3,300 Vietnamese orphans from the embattled country. Ford and his supporters equated Operation Babylift with an act of mercy. Some American and Vietnamese citizens hardly saw it that way. From the outset, the operation created controversy. It also encountered tragedy. So the first flight of Operation Babylift, the mission began on April 4th, 1975, when the very first aircraft, a U.S. Air Force C-5A Galaxy, suffered a catastrophic cargo door failure and structural collapse shortly after takeoff. The plane essentially split apart. The plane crashed in a rice paddy, resulting in the tragic deaths of 138 people, including 78 children and numerous caretakers.
Wow.
That was the first flight of this.
Not quite the success you're hoping for on your first airplane ride.
Yeah, right. I don't know why they're saying Ford. That doesn't seem to make sense. They said President Ford, or maybe it was Vice President Ford.
Because I thought Nixon was in.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think they made a mistake. That shouldn't be President Ford. That should be Nixon.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's Nixon. So, maybe that was after Nixon resigned and then Ford took over. So that could be right. Yeah, that could be right. Look that up, would you? The crash, which occurred 2 miles from the airfield, killed 138 people, including 78 children. Ford offered his condolences after the crash, but he made one thing perfectly clear. Operation Babylift was going to continue. The operation divided the American public, however. Vietnam already divided the American public. Now this operation divided it as well. Some saw it along humanitarian lines and the right thing to do. Others considered Operation Babylift as little more than a barely disguised attempt to gain sympathy after a hugely unpopular war. Some also painted the Ford administration as arrogant for believing the Vietnamese orphans were better off in America, so far removed from their homeland and heritage. And that's what I would think too. I mean, you look at this obviously in retrospect, but you look at it and you're like, why do we think we need to fly their orphans out? It's like, whoa.
And to think you would have any type of impact in that too.
Well, sure. I mean, obviously that's huge guilt to want to do an operation like that. It's like, okay, we'll fly them over to America. They'll be better off over there now that we've wrecked their country. Yeah. And then there was this. They said some of the children on those Operation Babylift flights were not orphans at all. It was not uncommon during that tumultuous period for Vietnamese parents to put their offspring in orphanages because they didn't have enough money to feed them. They often visited their children there with no intent of ever giving them away.
Oh,
so they were just using them to like, oh, well, they can take better care of them than we can.
Nobody thought about that little.
And then somebody goes, hey, round all these guys up. We're going to America. And they're like, wait.
That's my kid.
You come back the next day and you're like, where's all the kids? Where's my kid? And they're like, oh, they just flew away. When some tried to express their concerns to the government, they claimed they were ignored. That lack of response led to Nguyen Da Yen versus Kissinger, a class action lawsuit against Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, the federal government, and some adoption agencies. The suit, filed through the nonprofit Center for Constitutional Rights, claimed Operation Babylift was unconstitutional. A judge threw it out, ruling the filing did not meet the standards for a class action suit. The judge further sealed the records and forbid the plaintiffs from alerting Vietnamese families as to their children's whereabouts.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. we shut the door on that, didn't we?
It's like, fly them over here, but don't tell them where they're at.
Now, it's funny because I'm assuming that was all done with really good intentions, right? We hope.
Sure, of course. Well, everything's always done with good intentions, right?
Until it's not.
I mean, communism started with good intentions, right? Operation Babylift evacuated approximately 3,300 infants and children from South Vietnam in April 1975. Mission placed them with adoptive families in not only the United States, but Australia, Canada, and Europe.
Wow.
Decades later, many of the adoptees have integrated successfully into their new countries, while some have used DNA testing and historical records to reconnect with their surviving biological family members in Vietnam.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. But imagine if you just like, you're a kid and they say to get on this plane, you fly away from any family you know under the, I'm sure they didn't vet enough, obviously. They're just like, they're all orphans. All of them. They're all orphans. Let's fly them out of here. Doing good by the orphans. And they're like, my mom and dad are still there. And they're like, shut up, kid. You're going to America. You're going to Canada.
And you're going to like it.
The State Department ended Operation Babylift on May 9th, 1975. So
Nixon resigned in August of 74.
74?
Yep.
So, okay. So Ford would have been
the legit
until Carter got elected in 75, 76, took office. Okay. Yeah. So it was President Ford for a short time. Wow. And he got saddled with that. There you go.
Babylift. Interesting stuff, man.
Right. So that I don't know if we've done that before. I don't remember the plane crashing. That's what.
See, I think that's why we did it, though. I think we did talk about something.
Might be. Well,
but again, it's good.
The way I did it was probably better.
Oh, much better. I'm sure.
Wow, this was clunky.
Yeah, a little bit.
We need Jake back.
A little bit clunky.
Maybe we should have had Michelle on. Maybe that would have improved the flow. It definitely would have improved our history. So that's for sure. So I'll have to reach out. Anyway,
you do 44. I'm not doing it.
Fine. So much for that switcheroo thing, right? Well, Harold, Eric, let's.
Oh shit!
On behalf of that, I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, subscribe, and let us know how we did in the comments. And make sure next week that you are not
late for changeover.
Eric, thanks, man. It's good to see you.
Yep.
Jake, have fun in Japan. I wish I knew another word besides konnichiwa.
That works. He gets the idea.
Yeah, I get it. And everyone listening and watching, thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you next week.
Good to see you, Marty. Take it easy.